This is a mini help video on the topic maps and scales. So let's have a look at the first question then. So first question says, on a map, a map has a scale of 1 centimetres to 3 miles. On the map, the distance between two towns is 7 centimetres. What is the actual distance between the two towns, including its in your answers? Well, if we know that 1 centimetre is equal to 3 miles, we've then gone and measured 7 centimetres. So what we need to do is just ensure that that centimetres bit is measured up here in the same place here. So if centimetres is on the left hand side, I've got to go and write centimetres there. What have I done to 1 to change it to 7? I've times it by 7. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So this would be 21 miles. Okay, so that's what will go there, 21 miles. Okay, the next one says, a map has a scale of 1 centimetre to 4 kilometres. The actual distance between the 2 centimetres is 52 kilometres. Work out the distance between the cities on the map. So again, I'm going to write the same thing here. 1 centimetre equals 4 kilometres. So it's not quite the same, but the same format. I'm then given 52 kilometres. So I need to line these up with the kilometres. So I'm going to write 52 there. And I'm working out now, what have I done to 4 to get it to 52? I've multiplied it. Well, I know that multiplying 4 by 10 would take me to 40. So if we work from there, 44 would be 11, 48 would be 12. And then 52 would be times by 13. So I've times both sides by 13. So the map must have been 13 centimetres. Okay. Question 3. We're told that a map has a scale of 1 centimetre equals 2 kilometres. So, okay, now this bit's really different to what we've been doing so far, okay? 1 centimetre represents 2 kilometres. Then it says, write this scale as a ratio in its simplest form. So if you write it as a ratio, you'd assume that those are in simplest form because we've got a 1-2 form, okay? So the issue that we've got here in some of the harder questions on these is that you have to check to see what the units are in the same measure. It's absolutely fine in the first two questions because we're asked what is the actual distance on the map, what is the actual distance of the two towns. But this wants it as a ratio, i.e. they've got to be in the same format, okay? So, to change from centimetres into metres, first of all, I've written the wrong thing there. I meant to write 1 metre equals how many centimetres, which is 100 centimetres. Cent meaning 100, we times by 100 to change metres into centimetres. And then we also need to know how many metres go into a kilometre. So kilometre is 1,000 metres. So I need to times this initially. I'll turn it into metres. So 1 centimetre to 2,000 metres. And then I'm going to get it as 1 centimetre equals, so 200. Now timesing that by 100 would be centimetres there. Okay? So from here now, I've got that in the same units here. I can't cancel anything down because that's already a 1-2 format. I can maybe put a comma in here to make it slightly easier, but we'd see that as a ratio of 1 to 200,000 on a map. That's what it would say. Okay, let me just move the camera slightly so you can see this question here. It then says, what is the actual length of a road measuring 5.5 centimetres on the map? Well, I'll probably come back to the way I wrote it before, which is to say 1 centimetre equals 2 kilometres. So from there, I want this to be centimetres. It's 5.5 centimetres. So the best way to do that, well, obviously we times by 5.5, and if we have a calculator, it's a very easy calculation to do, which is just putting 2 times by 5.5. But if you're struggling, maybe come do something like 2 times by 5, which is 10, 2 times by 6, which is 12, so 2 times by 5.5 is 11, or double of 5.5 is 11. It's not as hard as I'm making out actually here. So it would be 11 kilometres. Okay? Okay then, over the page, you have question 4. It says, the diagram shows a scale drawing. Scale 1 centimetre represents 100 kilometres. use the diagram to calculate the actual distance. So you will need to use a ruler for this, and you will need to measure accurately. If you don't measure accurately, you will drop marks, okay? So just looking at my ruler there, I've accidentally gone to the millimetre side, so I'm just going to change it over to being centimetres to be consistent with that. So I'm making sure that 0 is on that line there, and I can see, oh, right, if I'm being really fussy there, that isn't 7, okay? At a glance, it looks like 7, but I make that 7.1. Let's just check I'm at 0, yeah. I make that 7.1. So I know that 1 centimetre represents 100 kilometres. Well, I've now got 7.1 centimetres, so I've times that by 7.1. So I need to do 7.1 times by 100, which would be 710 kilometres. Okay, you do get a little bit of leeway with these, but we're talking maybe 1 millimetre above and below. So if you did say 7, you probably just would have just about would have got it, but you need to make sure you're being as accurate as possible. So I'm just going to write that in again. It's 710 when I printed it out. E is 300 kilometres due south of C. Show E on the diagram. Okay, so they brought bearings into here. Let's just go back to our conversion. So we know that 1 centimetre is equal to 100 kilometres. So I need to work out how many centimetres would be 300 kilometres. So 100 to 300 is times by 3. So it's got to be 3 centimetres on the map. And it's due south of C. So I'm going to come to C here, and I'm just looking for a line. We think of never eat shredded wheat. South is the one that goes straight down, so I've got to come absolutely straight down here. So I'm going to get my ruler, the top of my ruler is parallel with my page there to make sure it's going straight down. And I'm going to draw a line here that is exactly 3 centimetres. So you can see there, I've stopped dead on the 3. I'll now just go and pop a little blob on the end of that line so it's really nice and obvious where it is. I'm just going to go and say that is E, and then I'm also going to write this is 3 centimetres to show someone that I've measured that line accurately, okay? Okay then, so again we got, what looks to be an identical question as what is over on the other page. There's absolutely no need to do that. A map has a scale of 1 centimetre represents 2 kilometres. Write the scale as a ratio in its simplest form. So again, that's the 1 centimetre to 2,000 metres initially, and then 1 centimetre to 200,000 centimetres, and that would be my ratio. Okay, and then the actual length is there. Okay, and I think that was the last question. Oh no, we have got a couple more. Okay, so last page of questions here. It says a map has a scale of 1 centimetre represents 50 metres. Put a circle around which is the equivalent ratio. Well, again, this is centimetres to metres, just like the one I just briefly went over in much more detail on the first page. They're not the same, they need to be the same. So 1 centimetre to 50 metres, well, to change metres into centimetres times by 100, so effectively I'm just adding 2 zeros on there. So I'm looking for the 1 to 5,000 one there that's hopefully there, 1 to 5,000, that one. Okay, the distance between 2 shops on the map is 4.5 centimetres, so let's write out 1 centimetre equals 50 metres. I am then going to say, well, I've got 4.5 centimetres, so I write that underneath the centimetre side. I've times that by 4.5, so I need to times that by 4.5. So from here then, I want to do 50. I don't know what 50 times 4.5 is, but 50 times 4 is 200. 50 times 5 is 250. So 50 times by 4.5 must be in the middle of that, must be 225 metres. Okay, and then final one. So this is a GCSE question from the WJC. It says this mountain hut shown on a map. You can see that we haven't got the mountain hut, but it doesn't really matter because you've got the rest of the information on the question. It says the scale of the map is 1 to 50,000. On the map, the mountain hut is 4.2 centimetres from the farmhouse. How far away is the hut from the farmhouse? Give your answer in kilometres, okay? And I chose this question specifically because it goes through the running sort of theme that we've had on the harder questions. That first ratio is written in simplest form, so it is 1 centimetre to 50,000 centimetres. Now, I could go and work out what 4.2 is, and if I did do that, I would say, just like the equal sign, I've times by 4.2 here, times that by 4.2. This is actually on a non-calculator exam, and I'm then going to get 5 times by 4.2. I'm going to work out what that is, and I'm going to get a very, very long answer with all these centimetres. There's a slightly better way to go about it, okay? So what I'm going to do is say 1 centimetre is equal to, initially, I'm going to take off 1, 2, 3 zeros, because I'm going to divide it by hang on, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to only take off 2 zeros, sorry, because I'm going to turn it into metres. I'm going to divide by 100, okay? So 1 centimetre is equivalent, its ratio is to 500 metres. Now, to change that into kilometres, I divide by 1,000. So 500 divided by 1,000 would be 0.5 kilometres. So now I can make the statement here, 4.2 centimetres is equal to, well, what have I done? I might just put the equal sign in here just to be accurate throughout my question. I've times that by 4.2, so I need to times that by 4.2. So this is just saying what's half of 4.2, which is 2.1 kilometres. So the actual distance is 2.1 kilometres, much easier than going through the first way that I started to show us. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it's been useful.